Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Elite Zone, a podcast where we are continuously trying to help real estate agents market better, become more visible online, and just generally improve their real estate business, their marketing, and how they're out there working with buyers and sellers. I'm Max Bergstrom. I've got Blake Ferretti with me this morning, and we are going to be talking about your best leads and why they are already in your database, how to build a referral system that runs itself. So here we go. All right, everybody. Good morning, Blake. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well, excited to give some good value today. So yeah, I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Absolutely. There's just so much to cover. We can talk about this stuff all day long, but Blake and I take the time to curate these episodes as best we can. For you guys to keep them practical and straightforward and try to add as much value as possible. So we know that most agents out there are spending the majority of their time and energy generating new leads, cold outreach, paid ads, open houses, door knocking. All of that stuff has its place, kind of the more traditional real estate training you get from brokerages and everybody telling you, to be out there hustling. But there is a pipeline sitting right inside your CRM already, and you may not be working it correctly. So, past clients, people that already trust you, people that have seen results, any client that you've added value to in any way, really. The problem is just that most agents close a deal and then disappear. So, when you disappear, the referrals disappear with you. So, we're going to talk a little bit about why past clients are your most valuable and underutilized pipeline, and a four-touch point system that you can use to generate referrals without those awkward asks nobody likes. A little bit about why referrals feel uncomfortable and how the right system eliminates that, and also what it looks like when the system is running. So let's get into this. What do you think, Blake? Why is there so much value in past clients, friends, family, people that agents might not think are a valuable, lead or somebody they could get a referral from?
Yeah, so I think that, the nice thing about referrals is it applies to everyone at whatever stage you're in your real estate business. It's not just for, the new agents or maybe the veteran agents or maybe the agents that are kind of in the middle and they're ready to level up and they're just like needing a little extra guidance on how to get to that next level. It really truly applies to everyone. Referrals and creating relationships to continue your business is going to really ultimately get you to, closing those 20, 30 plus deals a year. So really being able to leverage the relationships you've already created and using that to once again get you to that next level. So it's exciting that it's not just for one starting point, but it's more for everyone that is a real estate agent.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you too. I mean, and once a lot of agents I know, they'll close a deal, send a gift, maybe they'll send out like a home anniversary post or something like that. But the past clients, the people that have already had good experiences with you, after they give you the good review, you don't have to just stick to a once a year happy home anniversary.
Yeah.
There's consistent value that you can send new info about the neighborhood. You can send, if there's any new, even boring stuff like zoning laws or changes, just things that people in that community, since as the agent, you're like the community gatekeeper, right? Like I know
Yeah.
everything that's going on here, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's other ways that you can deliver value. So not just, a deal, you send the gift or you check in once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hey, referral leads, they close faster, right? If you get a warm introduction, guess what? Yeah, they're still going to Google you, because we have talked about how the referral is the word of mouth referral is losing weight. But if
Yeah.
you've got your digital and your online game in check, and you're doing everything that we've laid out for you, and you get a referral and somebody goes and they look at your Agent Elite site, they look, they have that experience, you're reaching out to them right away because you got the mobile app. So if they're on the site, even if they haven't actually reached out yet, let's say they get a referral, they go on your site, and then you reach out to them because of the capabilities we have with our tools, then it's like they were going to reach out to you, but you beat them to it. That's going to like super impress them, right? So
Yeah.
think about it like that. Also, like, they already know your process, right? A client that's worked with you is going to be able to give a potential referral, a lot more insight,
Mhm.
in addition to that Google search. So when you couple those two together, I think it's really, like the lethal combination, right? Like the full package.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and I also think too with the referral, like you can use that as yes, referral of getting new clients, but look at it as repeated business from your past clients, right?
right.
Most I mean, it varies. Obviously, there's a lot of people that they save for a very long time and they find their dream home and they're like, "All right, this is it. I'm set, and I don't want to buy any more real estate." But there's a huge pool of people that are looking at real estate as a huge investment in growing wealth themselves,
Hmm.
um, whether it's their own wealth, generational wealth, freedom, whatever that is, to where those clients that you work with, like you were just saying, that have experienced your workflow, your process, your communication, your drive, like all those good qualities that clients are looking for when they're working with a real estate agent. They're probably going to eventually at some point have other transactions where they are investing into more properties, or they're gonna sell, whatever it is,
Yep.
where that referral also could be looked at as repeat business. And if you even have, let's say you're a new agent and you only have, maybe 20 contacts into your database, that's still 20 contacts that you could work again with. Or as we're talking about in today's episode, like, putting yourself out there as, hey, if you know anyone, I would love to help someone also, with this process, and or get connected, or maybe someone just has questions. Like, it doesn't even mean they need to be buying or selling right now. Like, maybe they genuinely just have questions that they want to understand the process better, or maybe they just want to understand, like, is this even a possibility for them? Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
or let's say you are more of like the kind of like in the middle, like you're doing 20 deals, you're on the veteran side, you're doing 20 plus deals. Think about if you've closed 20 deals, let's
Hmm.
just say for 2025, right?
Yep.
And the average referral, if we're going to talk like money now, is worth just one transaction. So you have 20 deals, you get one referral, that one transactions, let's say maybe anywhere from, depending on property price, 5,000 to 10,000 in commission, right?
Yes.
You only need one referral from every 5 past clients. So if out of those 20
Hmm.
clients you've closed, you obviously ask those 20 clients, maybe out of every 5 you ask, you get that one referral. That's going to generate you, let's say, once again, anywhere from 30 to 35,000 in just pure referral income.
Yeah.
That's not including if you're doing extra marketing efforts where you're doing paid ads and getting leads that way. That's not including like your cold calling or, door knocking, whatever you're doing, networking events. That's strictly from the database you've already created and doing that outreach to generate that referral. And like you were saying earlier too, it's a little easier on the close because you have someone backing you up and kind of advocating for you. So then
Yeah.
when you get to meet those people, they're like, "Oh my god, you know what Max said? She was on it. They, like, communicative, efficient. Like, yes, I can see that and I want to work with that person." So it makes it a little easier. So yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I mean that a cold database does not generate referrals, right?
Yeah,
So, and yes, I know we focus a lot about getting new leads, generating new business, capturing new people that are on your website. But the warm referral, the warm client. I mean, even if they just bought a house, you can't just think about it as, okay, they bought from me, maybe in 5 to 10 years I'll be able to help them again. No,
yeah,
like, continue to get value in front of them and then ask for their referral. Like, there's so many agents I know that they don't ask.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with, saying, "Hey, I thank you so much for the great review. You had a great experience with me." Yeah. Oh, yeah, I really did. Thank you so much. Great. I'm trying to help as many people as I can, give them the same experience. And I hate being spammy and salesy. So I don't want to be, spamming everybody. Would you mind if you hear anybody ask about homes in this neighborhood or anything like that? Just, a warm introduction would be great. I'm happy to help them out. I'm happy to talk about the neighborhood, right? Like, not saying, "Well, I'm an agent. Like, I'll get them the bet." Just be of service and be valuable and stay top of mind. Because those are the people that when they do meet somebody or when a family member or friends like, "Hey, I am selling," they're like, "Oh yeah, well, Blake is always sending me really interesting stuff about where I moved in, and I'm sure she could help you too. I've gotten a lot of value. I bought my home through her a few years ago, but
yeah.
she's kept, up the relationship." I mean, I think that speaks a lot. It goes a
Yeah.
long way.
And I want to emphasize what you're saying too is the relationship part. I think that when you're working in a deal, sometimes it might not be as smooth. Like sometimes you're probably grinding in the background, doing your negotiating, making sure documents are signed, making sure the deal is going well. Like there's so much in the back end that sometimes even the buyers and sellers don't see right away. And so sometimes that process can seem um, almost like you're giving a lot, which I mean, that's part of the exciting part of real estate.
Right.
But after all of that's done and the exciting like part happens of the deal going through and people getting maybe in their first home or maybe finally getting investment properties, whatever that is like, don't forget that at the end of the day you were working with people that you also enjoyed working with and continue that relationship. I think something to go off of is if you're looking at your database, I want you to kind of, for everyone that's listening right now, like ask yourself, looking at your, or look, thinking of your database, don't look at it, but thinking of it, right? Like, can you answer these questions? Do you know, like, if your clients had kids that you worked with, like, do you know their names? Do you
Mm.
know which past clients just hit their first year anniversary? Do like any big things? Maybe your client was, I don't know, getting married or going on a big trip or just got promoted and they were talking to you about it in that transaction period, right?
Yep.
Do you, if you're listening right now and you're thinking about those questions that I just asked without looking at your phone, without checking the mobile app, without checking the database on your desktop,
Mm.
can you answer those questions?
Yep.
And if you are having a hard time remembering all of them, I'm not, especially if you're doing 20 plus deals a year or even maybe a month. There's some that are crushing it out there, right? It's okay if you don't know every single one, but if you're trying to grow your business and grow your database, knowing those little things go a long way,
Oh man.
especially when you're trying to create that referral database for yourself. So,
Hugely important. In fact, I'll give you a good scenario. Let's say
yeah,
you go on Facebook, you're connected with one of your clients, and you see that it's their daughter or son's birthday. They're having a party this weekend, whatever, right?
yeah,
You've got their address or whatever. You go get a birthday card, fill it out, and drop that by. And you don't need to announce it or text them and be like, hey, drop by a birthday. You do that, and at that birthday party or whatever, the kid gets a birthday card, or so, I mean, that is going to go a super long way longer than any market report or anything, like that. So if you're
yeah,
doing stuff at that level, that's somebody that's, like this person genuinely took the time to send a birthday card, and knew that it was my kid's birthday. I mean, that shows a lot, right?
yeah,
Especially in the world we live in today. Like, 50 years ago, that's kind of stuff was they probably invited their realtor to the kid's birthday party. But nowadays, like, that's a lot, right? You can barely even get people to do full sentences on a text anymore.
yeah,
So
yeah.
great point, something to
Yeah,
think about, you
go
know.
the extra mile. At the end of the day, like those little things, they do add up, and it's so important to do what you can to, represent who you are, your business and your brand, and that's all part of it. And I think that's, once again, why a lot of these agents get into the business is they truly want to help people get into situations that's going to allow them to achieve their goals. And
Yep.
honestly, I kind of want to also say here that sometimes nobody talks about, but your past clients, because everyone does this. Like, even if you just have gotten into a home, you're probably still on real estate agents' websites. You're probably on the web
Sure.
looking at properties just cause.
All the time. I
Just
know people
'cause.
that do this all the time.
Just
All the
because
time.
I have a friend, they're not looking to buy right now, but like all day, every day, they're on agents' websites that they know to see what new listings have hit the
Yep.
MLS. Like
Yeah.
it's just the
People do it on the
curiosity.
weekends. Yeah, they
It's the
sit there and
curiosity.
browse, Redfin on the
Yeah.
weekends for sure. For sure.
So with that being said, you know, because people are always looking, you never know when they will come across something that they actually are like, hold on, like this is something that I might be interested in. And if it's not coming from you and it's not coming from your website or email marketing from you, that's now putting other agents in a position where that's opportunity for them to reach out to other agents. So
100%. Yep.
don't allow the competitors to sneak in. Make sure that you're staying that top of mind, so then that way you're the one that they're reaching out if and when they are ready as well. So
Yeah, and don't think it's just okay. Well, you guys are always talking about visibility and stuff, and now you're talking about like just getting referrals. Like, I'm
yeah,
good with referrals. I can just do this. Okay, maybe for right now, but like we said, every year the word of mouth referral is losing weight,
yeah,
so it isn't going to sustain you forever. So we're not saying don't leverage referrals, and we're not saying don't only focus on cold traffic. We're saying you have to balance it. You got to do it
do
all.
both.
You
It's the
got to do both.
ecosystem. It's part of the ecosystem.
Yes, it's
It's
part of the ecosystem.
it all
Exactly.
works hand in hand. And if you're not doing one and if you're only doing one, it's not going to last. You have to do both. So
Yep. So once you close, there's a quick four touch point post close system
yeah,
that people can use. Blake, do you want me to run people through that, or do you want to run people through that? I think you might
yeah,
you might you might be better for it, because I think you might have some specific examples or better ones than the the,
yeah.
the kind
No,
of
yeah,
templated.
of course. No, I think There's so many there really is so many touch points that you can do. Once again, like every I think agent is has their own personality, has their own touch, has their own way of them showing their brand. So, I definitely what we go over today, if you're doing more than this, like heck yes, like good on you, like keep doing that. Don't like do less, but if you're definitely someone that is in kind of a stage where you're feel like you're doing enough, but you're not seeing the results, this could be a good start to kind of reflect on what your process is currently and
Yeah.
making any adjustments. So these four touch points, once again, are kind of like, the foundation. I definitely
Yeah.
think you should and can always do more, but I definitely want to do anything less than what we go over. So that first touch point, of course, is like, once again, like the congratulations, the
Yeah.
excitement, I think immediately after you have just helped someone, move in. It could even be a few days after the move in, just making sure, everything went smoothly and just that like check in. Once again, like, hey, we were talking about the movers. How are the movers?
Yeah.
Did everyone get everything get there? Like, once again, that's like that first touch point. Everything just happened, and it's that
Yep.
immediate.
And they're in a
Um,
manic state, right? Like if you think about your clients, they've probably got stuff lying all around and
yeah,
just getting everything in. And so this is a good time to give like support, right? Even like
exactly.
after things close, you got paid, okay, like help them get settled in and all that. So sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I just wanted
No,
to
you're
make
good,
that
you're
clear.
good. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely would say that would be definitely hands-on, the first thing that we do. And then the next touch point, right, is like that 30-day check-in. They've been there for 30 days now. They've probably gotten settled in. Maybe they still need some wall art, like
Mm,
whatever that is, for the most part though, they're settled in and they've been in the home for a while. Or even if it's not their home, it's an investment property, they've had that property now for 30 days. So this is
yes.
a good time to just check it in, and most agents say like, hey, it was great working with you. I know, like, if you know anyone buying or selling, like, keep me in mind, right?
Yep.
Where like that's not bad, but I think that you can think about it as like more of, once again, they've been there now for 30 days of like, hey, think about like the last time a contractor did work on the house, then actually like called 30 days later to see if everything held up. So like that's where you're gonna like same thing, like call in and say, hey, is everything still working well? Like, I
Yep.
know you've been in there for a month now. How exciting! Like,
Yep.
does it feel different? Maybe they moved to a new neighborhood. Talk about like being in a different area now. How's it been?
Yeah.
More personalized,
Yeah.
rather than jumping right into like, hey, you've been in there. Like, do you know anyone else?
For
Um,
sure.
so, and then we move on to like, okay, it's been 30 days. Let's have some time go by. Now we're going to want to reach out in that kind of like 90-day value messaging that we want to send out to
Yep.
the clients, right? And here's an example of like what that could look like. So I'm gonna say, the client's name, let's just say, is Sarah. We're gonna go with Sarah today. So
Okay.
like say, hey Sarah, like, I hope everything's been going well. I'm once again so excited for you. I just wanna like let you know, give you a quick heads up. The inventory, in Rancho Bernardo, dropped 18% this quarter and the median prices are up, but your home value actually has gone up. And I just wanted to keep you in the loop and give you an update. I'm so excited that you guys got into the home that you did and at the time that you did. So just wanted to give you an update on the market and how your, equity has grown for your home.
Yeah, I mean, who's not gonna wanna hear that? That's gonna brighten their day for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
"Hey, how you
exactly.
doing today? Your home is worth more than it was before." Like, find tidbits and nuggets of info that they would wanna know, that they would find valuable, and send them with love. I think that's great.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's yeah, I think value and knowledge that you can give to your clients even after, at 90 days, yeah, it's definitely going to go that extra mile, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And then of course you have the 1 year anniversary. Like that is a huge milestone for a lot of people. So like being able to just like respond in a way that, yes, like we have automated anniversary emails in our system. you
Yep.
can you can design that anniversary. I know a lot of our clients, they'll create like a little graphic that says happy anniversary with like a nice message, like anything in regards to just reaching out, letting them know it's their anniversary, giving them that reminder. Maybe they're busy in life and they forgot that a year ago they just bought a property.
Shoot,
So
I've forgotten my birthday before until the
yeah,
week of sometimes. So I
yeah,
completely get
time
it.
just flies
It,
by. So
it goes.
it's crazy. So like that's one thing, one touch point, like definitely make sure you do, but also you have a system that will allow you to automate that as well, which is also awesome if you as an agent are also busy and are going crazy getting all these other deals and signings that you might have just missed. So set that
Yeah.
up in your automation.
Yep.
And then finally is the last touch point of like the referral. This is where
You ask, right?
it's been over a year now.
Yeah.
You've been doing your touch points, you've been maintaining your relationship, you have been, connecting with the people that you've been working with, and um and that's going to be where you kind of take charge of asking and being able to say, hey, I would love to give my services and help others. I'm all about education and making sure people are making the best and smart decision for them and their own success. If you know anyone, like, feel free to send my information over, or
100%.
share my
Yep.
Google business profile where they can find all my websites, social media links, reviews. And if you have any questions or you need anything, feel free to also reach out. So I would
Yeah.
say
And
those are
if,
the major touch points that agents definitely hop on. If you're doing more, heck yes, keep
yeah,
being,
rock and roll.
a rock star. Yeah, exactly. If you're not doing at least those, this is the time to kind of see what or what not you're doing and go after and at least do those minimum touch points for sure.
Yeah, try it out. In fact, you can get really creative. You do not have to do this, but this is something that has worked really well for an agent that I know. After she gets a close for
Hmm.
buyers, she will throw them a housewarming party
Oh,
and
wow.
get a bouncy castle and invite all the neighbors and all their kids and like have a housewarming party, and she meets the whole neighborhood this way. And I mean, she's a good cook, so like she cooks and stuff, and so she's sharing recipes with all these. She's almost like ingraining herself into the block,
That's
which is really
awesome.
smart,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
then people are like, "Hey, where did you get that?" Or, "Hey, this recipe was really good." Or, "Hey, the kids are in the bouncy castle. Everybody's meeting each other, neighbors." So like that is the way where you as a realtor, you can become part of a community,
Yeah.
even if it's not yours. You
No,
can
yeah,
be
exactly.
you can become a part of the community and say, this is where I'm selling. I'm trying to help as many people as possible. And if you like a housewarming party for people, guiding them on like storage, what vendors are nearby, plumbers,
Yeah.
painters, where's the grocery, like stuff like this. This is all for busy people and families. This is really good, a really good way to be of extra value. So
100%. Yeah.
yep. So like in the Agent Elite system, in the software, our CRM, how does our software support this cold to closed to value over a period of time after to generating referrals? Like how would that go within the system so we can show agents, or at least explain that this isn't something that you have to mark on your manual calendar and manually pick up the phone and make sure you're making all these touch points?
Yeah, so it's going to be right in the drip campaigns, right? So setting up a post close kind of email campaign where you have it set up for anytime you close a client, you can just throw them into this campaign. So it's not like you have to start it or recreate it for every single person. But what you do is you create basically a campaign for immediately going out after the sale just happened. You create then the next touch point to be 30 days after that, so that campaign can be as little as definitely 5 touches, but as much as you want basically.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
you can set up how they're going to get the most personalized information is going to be making sure you have as much of their information filled out on their profile card. So,
Mm.
where they purchased or where they bought or where they're moving to, where they sold, whatever it is, you can add an address onto their profile card. That's going to help the system know, hey, Sarah moved to Rancho Bernardo. I'm going to
Yep.
put in that address so that way it's pulling content or AI or listings or market reports based off of that area. Um,
Yep.
you can add in the anniversary transaction date into that profile card. You can add birthdays in that anniversary or in that profile card. So by filling out the contact part of your client as much as you can, the
Yep.
system then will do the rest for you because it now has information that it's pulling from. Now, if you don't have all of that information put in there, that's probably going to be one of the things that I say definitely work on, as your homework, is going through and saying like, hey, okay, let me just pull all of the contacts that I've worked with,
Yep.
and then go into those profiles and update the information. And honestly, if you don't have it, if you don't remember or you didn't ask what the birthdays were when you worked with someone, like you're gonna, like, it's okay. Call them up. Call up the client and say, "Hey, Sarah, I hope you're doing well. I hope the property's doing well. Maybe it's been a while, and you're just like, I just wanted to check in with you. I just, was thinking about your property, or I was looking at the market reports and saw how, the inventories, your equity's gone up. Just want to connect it with you. And also, like, what's your birthday? I want to be able to
Yeah.
make sure I can like send, little happy birthdays when it comes because I value birthdays, so I want to make sure I,
For
reach out.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
like, that's another way you can try to get that information if you don't have it. But yeah, the more that you have, the more the system's going to be able to do for you, because it's going to be able to pull that. So yeah, that's
The
exactly.
devil's in the details, right? And essentially we're
Yeah,
training your agent elite AI assist to learn everything about specific clients. So the right, so the more
yeah.
info in, the better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then you have that campaign running, and there you go. So that's going to be the best way to have those touch points be met.
I love it. So we string all this together, you get a compounding effect. Every closing that you add to your system is a new referral pipeline that's going to run in the background. And, as long as you keep feeding it, you can do this indefinitely. And then, the agent who closed 20 deals last year and set up this system is maybe going to have 20 active referral relationships running simultaneously right now. So there's so much value in this, and that's really a compounding asset, right? And we talk a lot about compounding and being consistent. So, the agent who closed 20 deals and disappears, they have nothing to show for it except for the 20 deals, which is great. If you're doing 20 deals, that's awesome. But if you want to do 20 deals and then 5x that with referral business and impress people and seal the deal by them looking at your amazing website, your social media presence, your branding, your marketing, your reputation, all of it, guys, all of it matters today. So I think, for me, like the big challenge for everybody, I would say, is to go through your database, run through it. Who are these people? When did they buy? When did they sell? Do you have that marked down? And try to establish that. What do you think, Blake? What do you think a good challenge is?
Yeah, same thing I said before. Go through your system, and you don't have to sit in one sitting and do it for hours. You can dedicate, if you have 20 minutes per day, and just go through and say, okay, I let me take at least the last, you know, year minimum,
Yep.
and say, okay, the last year, these are the people I worked with. Do I have, the address or area code of where they bought or sold? Do I have the birthdays? Do I have the transaction anniversaries? And just go through that. And if you, let's say, might be on the like only have closed maybe 1 to 5 deals last year, then expand that to the past 2 years and go through your contacts list, right? So definitely go in there, make sure you have that information. If you have the Agent Elite system, it's super easy to complete. You can do it right from your mobile phone, you can do it from your desktop, whatever is easiest for you, but definitely get that information in there so the AI, when they send out emails, it's way more personalized to that person.
Love that. Love that. Guys, thanks for tuning in. If you know an agent that you think could benefit from this, share it, subscribe. If you like what you're saying, drop a comment. If you don't and you disagree, drop a comment. Let us know what's working for you. But yeah, until next week, get out there, get after it. This has been Elite Zone, and we will see you soon.